We'll call to order the August 21st, 2014 meeting of the Ascension Council. Would everyone please stand for the invocation, and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear Lord, we thank you for this night. We thank you for this blessed parish that we live in. Lord, as always, we ask that you look over the parish and all the Gulf South region for the impending storms at this time of the year. We ask that everyone take a look around and look to the people that don't have as much as we have. Let's look around to the elderly. Let's make sure that they're comfortable and safe, and let's weather them through the storm. Lord, it's with humble heart that we ask for special intentions tonight for the loss of Brandon Augustus, the child of one of our DPW workers, Mr. Sheldon Shepard. We ask that you take care of the families for Miss Karen Russell Babin as we grieve her loss. And Lord, we ask that you look over one of our longtime parish workers, Mr. Lyle Shake Snyder, and stay with him in his time of need. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right, I would please like to, let's get the Jaguars up, please, and our Eagle Scout, Mr. Ogeron, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Come on up, folks.
There you go, filling around
We're
there.
proud to have you guys here tonight. Whenever y'all ready. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Madam Secretary, please note that we have two councilmen absent tonight, Councilman Melanson and Councilman Satterley. Chair's addition, we have none. Public comment period. Anyone wishing to speak on an agenda item, please sign in with the secretary and you'll be given some time when that agenda item comes up. On the presentations, I'd like to turn it over to the parish president. Our first presentation is Certificate of Recognition, the Louisiana Jaguars. Would you guys step up?
Call all you guys up front, and the coaches and parents if they'd like to join. Up here, we'll, that's good. Right there, like that. Well, we're going to honor you guys tonight for coming out fourth in the nation, and I think that's a tremendous accomplishment. Being here from Ascension Parish, and I know you competed with over 100 teams from around the nation, and just want to just recognize you and tell you how much we appreciate the job you did and the effort that you put forward. And like to call the coaches up, please. Mr. Turner and Mr. Stipe? Okay, Mr. Turner. Say a few words tell us about the tournament and what happened and how many teams. Again, as I said, I know it was 100, but tell us how great these guys were and how hard they worked.
All right, how y'all doing today? We went to Orlando, Florida to compete in AAU Nationals. They had 120 plus teams up there representing all 50 states and a couple of countries. Our kids went up there. We was the smallest bunch of kids that was up there, played against some of the top talent in the United States. The kids went up there determined, good week of practice before we left. And as we started to play, we had a little conversation the night before the game, just telling them it's not really about basketball, but just giving everything they got. Then just go out there and showing and representing your state. And once we started playing, it was just all out from game one. They just gave everything that they had We bonded well. They played tough, played hard, never gave up. Came up short in the semifinal game to get to the championship game, and didn't have enough gas to finish third. But overall, finishing fourth from a team from Gonzales, Louisiana, small little town, that's great, competing against the best players in the nation. So we are very proud of the kids, each and every one of them, and we wish them luck as they go to their high school, to various high schools. So, this is 14-year-old. They were 8th graders, all of them 9th grade. They'll represent East Ascension, Sanoma, Dutchtown, St. Michael's. What we got? We got Episcopal, and we have U High. So a couple of little schools around there, but most of them from Ascension Parish, though. Well, we appreciate y'all recognizing us tonight.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to read one of these, and then I'm going to call you guys' names up, and they read the same. So, but we want to recognize each of you on an individual basis. Certificate of Achievement. This certificate is hereby awarded to Adrian Boyd, Jr., the Louisiana Jaguars, AAU, Nationals Division II, 4th place, national ranking. The Parish of Ascension is proud to present the Certificate of Achievement to Adrian Boyd, Jr., and the 2014 Jaguars 8th grade AAU basketball team. The Jaguars, under head coach Tyler Turner and assistant coaches Jonathan Walker and Adrian Stibe, Jr., competed in the ESPN Wild World of Sports AAU Nationals, Division II in Orlando, Florida, and received a 4th place national ranking. The Jaguars competed with over 100 teams from across the nation. We join Council Chair Randy Cluat and the entire Parish Council in congratulating these young men for their extraordinary effort. Mr. Boyd. Brandon Davies. Brandon Bourgeois. Brandon, congratulations. Cameron Dumas. All right, Cameron. Must be a guard, huh? All right. Carrington Hall. He's absent. We'll put it here. Ernest London. Another guard coming forward here. Congratulations. Jacoby Lee. Okay, Jacoby. Congratulations. Getting to the centers now. So. Jahona Daly. Janoy, I'm sorry. Daly. Janoy. Congratulations. Jarvis Moe Jr. Jarvis. Cameron Glover. Marquise Anderson. Michael Douglas III. Good night. Congratulations. Shedrick Smith III. Tyreek Daly. All right, Tyreek. Assistant coach, Adrian Stibe Jr. All right. Adrian. Assistant coach, Jonathan Walker. Okay. And head coach, Tyler Turner. And congratulations to all you guys. We want to take a picture if you want to come up. And we hope to see you in about 4 years on TV playing for some college around the country. And I can say, man, I gave that guy an award 4 or 5 years ago, and look at him now. So, over here.
Y'all just back up against here and kind of get over there.
Charlotte in the front, I was in the front.
They're all going to high school. And
We'll move on to the next. Thank y'all folks for coming. We'll move on to the next awards, certificate of recognition for Eagle Scout Joseph Ogeron.
Hey, Joseph, I'd like your parents to come
Yes,
up and
yes,
join you.
parents, come on.
I know you didn't make this journey by yourself. You had to have a lot of help from your parents, but it's quite an achievement. I think about 2% of all the scouts actually achieve the rank of Eagle Scout, and we're always proud to have an Eagle Scout here in Ascension Parish. And I just want to say that I'm sorry I missed your ceremony. I do love to go to those ceremonies, and but we're proud to have you here tonight. And I know that, as I said, it takes a lot, and once you become an Eagle Scout, it follows you throughout life, and I can assure you it builds your character, and everywhere you go, people look at that, and it's a big achievement. So we appreciate you coming tonight and spending a little time with us so we could actually recognize your hard work and dedication. So I'll read this, and I'll ask you to say a few words, please. Certificate of Achievement. This certificate is hereby awarded to Eagle Scout Joseph Ogeron. The Parish of Ascension is proud to present the Certificate of Achievement to Joseph Ogeron of Troop 131 for achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. The Eagle Scout rank is the highest rank attainable in the Boy Scouting program of the Boy Scouts of America. The title of Eagle Scout is held for life, thus giving rise to the phrase, once an eagle, always an eagle. We join Council Chair Randy Cluot and the entire Parish Council in congratulating Eagle Scout Joseph Ogeron. Congratulations.
Stand behind you, buddy.
Well, like you said, it's a really long journey to make it from where I started in the very beginning of the Cub Scouts all the way to the end of the Boy Scout career to achieve the rank of Eagle. Took me about 10 years in order to get it. It's a really long journey, but I wouldn't trade it for anything else. With it, I've met so many friends and so many leaders who have turned me into something so much better than what I was all those years ago. And I'd just like to say thank you to every single one of them.
Okay. We're going to take 3 shots on 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 more. 1, 2, 3. 1 more. 1, 2, 3.
Get this for the family back there. A little bit closer, Tommy. There we go, perfect. Keep going. There we go. Good.
Thank you, folks. We'll move on to the parish president's report. Parish president has a couple things. One's a presentation by United Medical Rehabilitation Hospital. Mr. Joey Freelou.
Yes, Joey had asked if he could come by and tell us about it's the hospital next to where we're building our new building and some of the programs that they offer, and they even offered to take our.
Mr. President, I decided that we had someone that would look much better on camera.
Well, I can't say that I don't agree with you. Anyway, we'll let her take it from there.
Thank you, ma'am. Give us your name.
My name is Chancey Sibley, and I was born and raised in Ascension Parish. I went to Dutchtown High School, and I was a proud Griffin before I moved to Hammond to get my MBA at Southeastern Louisiana University. I recently moved back to work as Director of Special Projects at United Medical Rehabilitation Hospital right here in Gonzales. It is on Worthy Road right across from ETEL. And I'm really excited about it. We're the only inpatient acute rehabilitation hospital in Gonzales, and our doctors see our patients every single day. We offer speech therapy, physical therapy, and occupational therapy to our patients. And this hospital really represents a significant advancement to the medical field for our citizens because our geriatric population is growing exponentially. Hip surgeries, knee surgeries, stroke, other ailments, they're all becoming more and more common among this group. So historically, our loved ones have been sent to facilities in Baton Rouge. For those of us who work, that makes it very, very difficult for us to visit them as often as we would like. Traffic has always been an issue, and it always will be. So this hospital, it brings those services back to our town. And all of our rooms are private rooms with flat screen TVs, which makes it perfect for visiting families. We do encourage family and friends to come and visit and see the progress of our patients. Our niche in this market is we're bringing hospitality to the field of medicine. I worked in the hospitality industry, so I'm really excited to bring the values to this hospital. Our hospital has an atmosphere that feels like home. You walk into the lobby and it's beautifully decorated, and we have a snack bar that you can choose from. We can make you a latte or an espresso. So I encourage you to go check out our Facebook page. It's United Medical Rehabilitation Hospital. And our website is currently under construction, but it will be launched shortly. So until then, you can reach us at 225-450-2775, or you can email any inquiries to our nurse liaison, Kayla Bruce, at kbruce@umrhospital.com. And again, we are so excited about serving the needs of the community of Ascension Parish, and we look forward to being there for our patients' road to recovery. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next, I have a distinguished gentleman who was taking pictures just now for us. We'll hire him as our secondary photographer, Mr. Jack Whitehead. He wants to tell us a little bit about a Red Cross program, and he's looking for volunteers to cook. So I told him that we had quite a few on the council that like to cook, Randy, and I know Kent likes to cook. So
I know
maybe
some
y'all
good
could-
cooks.
Good, we can use you. I'm Jack Whitehead. It's a pleasure to be here. And Chairman Clotre, you gave your invocation. You talked about disaster. That's one of the things the American Red Cross does. We're fortunate that after Hurricane Katrina, the people of Kuwait and Walmart Foundation built an $8 million facility in Baton Rouge that is state-of-the-art, that's designed to serve our 10-parish area that includes Ascension. Most people know about the American Red Cross when there's a house fire. They respond to every house fire every day wherever it occurs. They respond to disasters, and they also help keep military families in touch. Clara Barton began that during the Civil War. We have a tremendous facility and a kitchen that's rarely used because we don't have disasters all the day. So the Red Cross Board came up with a concept. Let's get cooks who volunteer who can help us when we need it. But in the meantime, come drill once a quarter with your team. And we're going to give those meals away. In fact, I saw something on the agenda for Council on Aging. Wouldn't it be nice to bring a nice fresh meal for the Council on Aging, compliment of Associated Grocers, who's given us the ingredients to drill with, cooked by Ascension Parish volunteers. I've got 2 books here. You can fill them up, you can make more copies. This is requesting volunteers. We need y'all to come train the Red Cross Way on September 13th and 14th. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it's long. You're going to be worn out because anytime there's a disaster, as you well know in public service, it's tiring. But look how we can give back to the community and help keep people in touch and make new friends. We just ask your help to help us fill up these books. Mr. Martinez, who do I leave the books with?
Leave them with the secretary, please.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Could you give us a number or something to contact?
Everything is in here.
The people not gonna read the book.
No.
For the people that's listening in the audience.
Folks that are listening, call
And
for.
we're televised, sir.
Good,
So-
great. Call for Lou Kennedy at 291-4533. That's Lou Kennedy, just like former President Kennedy. And he'll email you, he'll get it done, and you're going to spend September, the Saturday and Sundays with the 13th and 14th, I believe, at the Red Cross. You need to sign up and volunteer and do a few other things online. But we'll look forward to helping build the relationship in Ascension Parish with the American Red Cross. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate the courtesy, Mr. Martinez.
Thanks, sir. You have anything else? Thank you, Mr. President. We'll move on to agenda item number 7, consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Mr. Dempsey Lambert.
Second.
Second by Mr. Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. We'll move into the general business. Agenda item number 8, approval of RFP for public outreach and education services. Recreation Chairman Travis Turner and Ms. Joan Shivers, purchasing. Ms. Shivers, you're gonna read that for us?
Yes, I am. On August 5th, 2014, the Purchasing Department received 1 proposal for public outreach and education services. After review, the Non-Engineering Selection Committee recommends accepting the proposal submitted by O.T. White and Associates and to authorize the parish president to begin contract negotiations for this service.
Thank you, ma'am.
Motion?
We have a motion by Mr. Turner,
Second.
second by Ms. Cazzo. Any discussion? Mr. Turner,
And for Ms. Barbara Carey to come speak about it,
yes,
about the proposal.
yes.
My name is Barbara Carey. I'm from the Communication Institute in Baton Rouge, and I have my associate Odie White with me. Together, we planned this proposal, and I want to just make a few remarks to you about it this afternoon. What a great night to talk about recreation in Ascension Parish with all the youth that we've had here. I've actually worked on this project for the last 7 months with the Citizens Advisory Group. This recreation project came from the people. It came from surveys that were conducted several years ago, a survey that was conducted last year. It came from the public meetings that my associate, Adrian Percy, conducted. And then the plan was also modified by the Citizens Advisory Group. So I'm here to ask you for the resources to communicate this plan to the citizens of Ascension Parish. It is the responsibility of a public body, when you put an initiative on the ballot, you have to communicate to the citizens so that they can make an informed decision. And that's our role. Our role is communication. Citizens need to know several things about this particular millage. Number one, that it's dedicated to recreation. I've heard when I've gone to public meetings and other meetings with the citizens that people are concerned when they give you the money, is that money really going to be used for what we say? By law, it's mandated. It has to be used for recreation. Also, the citizens need to understand what the impact is on their community. There are 16 local parks in this plan, plus some new parks and some other features of the plan. Citizens need to hear how it's going to impact their community, and we want to communicate that. Citizens also need to know that it's a comprehensive plan, and they need to learn all that facets of it, and they need to know what it's going to cost them, the individual homeowner. And so our plan addresses all of those issues. I've been asked about why our proposal is so comprehensive. When you get news, some of you wake up in the morning and you read the newspaper. Some of you go to the website and you might read the Advocate or the Creole. Some of you get your news by other websites. Some of you get your information by things that are mailed to your house. Some of you get information just by talking to your friends or neighbors. Some of you get information on Facebook. In the 21st century, when you want to inform citizens about a project as important as recreation in Ascension Parish, you have to use the entire platform of communication. People want personalized information. And this program, this plan that we gave you, is designed to do that. Give people the facts and let them make a good decision. I also wanted to say that I've heard a lot as I've gone through the parish about different issues. Why are we doing recreation and not roads and sewers? You definitely need roads and sewers in this area, but I've heard from the people that recreation is very important to the infrastructure of Ascension Parish, and they need to know if they vote for this, what they're going to get in their plan. I've heard something about how this plan is going to cost a lot of money. It's $3.13 to $5.21 per month for the average homeowner. The average homeowner is going to save gas going to Baton Rouge of that amount. So it really has a lot of good features. I've also heard, is everybody included in the plan? Every community is included in the plan. There's some discussion about Gonzales. We were at the Gonzales City Council, and they wanted to know if they were considered. They are considered in this plan in various ways. Number one, Stevens Park, that's located at 43230 Cannon Road in Gonzales, is scheduled for $333,000 worth of upgrades. That includes batting cages, fixtures, parking lot bleachers, a walking trail. Duplessis Park, which is located at 38103 Highway 21 Gonzales, is receiving tennis courts and a largest pavilion. There'll be 4 new spray parks in the parish. And also, Gonzales is the closest to the tournament fields that we're going to build that they can utilize with the 2-mile walking trail. There's also going to be a performing arts theater. $7.1 million in this plan addresses the arts. And there's going to be a performing arts theater, and I think the high schools, I think the dance studios, I think people in Gonzales and out of Gonzales will be able to use this. Also, I wanted to mention about Donaldsonville. Donaldsonville is going to get a terrific upgrade to their fairgrounds. $2.8 million, which is 11% of the whole construction budget, is going to go to the fairgrounds upgrade. Plus, they're going to get upgrades at Modest Park and Lehmanville. Basically, there'll be 16 parish parks that are really going to benefit from this millage. But we really need to address the citizens. We need to get this information to them. This plan does that. When you are talking to the citizens, you need a good plan of communication, and we have that. You need the people who can implement that plan. We have that. And tonight I'm here to ask you for the resources that we can do this, because it's really important to the citizens of the parish. And I would like Odie White, my associate, to just say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. Mr. Chairman, my name is Odie White, President of Odie White & Associates, and I will just add a couple of brief comments, mainly about the unique attributes that our team brings to this proposition here, and that is a great deal of experience in marketing youth sports. You know, youth sports are a multi-billion-dollar industry around the country. It's very much a build it and they will come type industry, and my team has marketed soccer, baseball, other sports over the years, and again have made it's a part of our industry. It's a part of what we do every day. Personally, I have 3 children that compete in sports. I've got, among other things, a swimmer, a football player, a baseball player, and a tennis player. Especially in the tennis and the swimming, and the between what we've seen in soccer and what we see in baseball. You go places, the people come. They're there. We've seen it. We've realized it. We know the huge crowds that fill up the hotels around the area. Again, and that's a unique firsthand perspective we're going to bring to this thing and help you all tell the people of Ascension Parish why this is a great opportunity, why it's a great idea, and why it's going to be profitable and beneficial to everybody in the parish. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Turner, you'd want to speak? Chairman Turner, Recreation.
I'm going to let Mr. I know Mr. Lambert has a comment. I want to thank Mr. Carey and Mr. White for coming and speak. I'll let Mr. Lambert speak first, and I'll make my comments after.
Mr. Lambert, Todd?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have several things. I guess, first of all, we haven't heard how much how much money are you looking for tonight on this, to do this outreach study and educate the people for this tax? How much are you asking for
The plan, the entire.
not so much the big plan, I'm talking about to do the plan to educate the people about the tax.
The entire plan,
I'd like to, Mr. Shivers, you put the proposal together. Please step quick
Yes.
and just, because that was left out, the dollar amount. I apologize.
Yes, I'm sorry.
The
We have
dollar
a
amount for the
budget
plan, yeah.
for this project of $190,000.
190,000, coming from what fund?
Was it?
1 cent sales tax.
Tax.
So it's not coming from recreation?
No.
Coming from general fund, which is our road, mostly our road money. Okay. I think that's it, Ms. Joan, on that part.
Thank you, John.
One other question or comment. Yesterday, this was kind of the first I've heard of the dollar amount that we're going to spend on this to just educate the people for this tax, which I think it's a gamble. It's kind of maybe wasteful spending on our part, $190,000 out of general fund. I think it should have went to recreation first. All our business goes through committees before it comes to this council to support and bring forward. That, I'd had a little bit more time to research it. After polling the citizens of the parish, the little time that I had, I made a lot of contacts, and I haven't had anybody for spending this $190,000 just to all this is doing is just educating the public. Now, we cannot use it to tell someone how to vote. We can't ask for them to say, vote this way. You can't do that. All you can do is educate them about what the money is for, what is your tax for, what is it going to do. And that's all you can do with it. You mentioned the city of Gonzales. I got to correct you on a couple of things. You mentioned Stevens Park and Duplessis Park. Yes, it's in Gonzales, but it's not in the city. It's in the parish, out of city limits. So them two big parks are parish parks. They're not in the city. But the city, and I have got quite a few calls from the city of Gonzales, different constituents, and they feel, we did put them in on this, all municipalities in on this tax, and they're not happy with that because they have a recreation plan themselves that they already spend money on and have a good program, and they feel the 5 mil property tax. I know you mentioned one other thing also, the amount, $5 per month, but we're forgetting about the commercial businesses, the industrial businesses. One of the largest ones right here on Highway 30, chemical plants, is going to be paying $460,000 a year on that 5 mil property tax. That came from the assessor's office. Anywhere from 450 down to around 200,000, depending on which chemical plant you're looking at. So a lot of us up here work in the chemical industry, and we're right now, the chemical corridor is paying up to 58% of the revenue off the sales tax to this parish in revenue. And here we're asking to bump them some more, And yes, I'm all for recreation, but like I said in the past, until we can get something road infrastructure first, you can't get to the parks. The parish is getting tougher to get from one end of the parish to the other right now. Until we get some roads, and I think that's where we need to put the funding at, and if we can move on a tax to pass one, that would be the one. But we've tried that, and it failed. And the people that I poll are against taxes. They do, at this time, the economy, they just are against taxes. They will not support a tax. We can take a gamble and spend $190,000 to try to educate the people, but it is a gamble. I have a little issue with that.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.
Did you want to go first?
Mr. Cazzo?
Yes, I feel like on 2 occasions in the recent past, we have failed to fulfill our obligation to educate the public when we put initiatives on the ballot. I think we do so again at our own peril. I believe that our children and our elderly, quite frankly, like me, who would love to have a place to go walk, we do ourselves a disservice by not allowing the opportunity to educate fully about this plan. I want to address the issue of transportation and recreation. First off, I'm going to tell you that this parish is capable of patting its head and rubbing its tummy at the same time. We can get more done than just one thing at a time. We are the parish with the highest per capita income in the state. We are the parish with the largest number of children below the age of 18 in the state. We should be embarrassed by our lack of ability to move forward. And while I think about why we don't, the only conclusion I can come to, knowing the people of Ascension Parish as well as I do and how much they love their children and what it means to them to have good roads and good recreation. I mean, my goodness, I was raised in the parks in this parish. And to see what they look like today is embarrassing. We can do this, people. And while I appreciate the expense on our chemical neighbors, quite frankly, you know, those guys are not going anywhere. They're coming in here by the droves. They're bringing more. And frankly, they're having a hard time recruiting middle-level managers to come into the parish and live here and work here because, quite frankly, let me tell you something, they're going to go to that plant to get their dollars. But their wives don't want to live here because they don't have anything for their children. Nothing. I'm going to repeat what I said in the beginning of my tirade. We can pat our head and rub our tummy at the same time in this parish, and it's time we do so.
Thank you, Mr. Cazzo. Yes, Mr. Turner.
I just have a few comments, and it's not going to be a tirade. It's just going to be mainly just
Well, I hope mine wasn't.
just mainly straight facts. Now I'm going to go with a personal story first. I know my little boy. He plays football with a local organization in the parish. This is his first year playing. Not that good at it, but he's playing. But I know up until 2 weeks ago, they didn't have a field to play their home football games on because they usually play at East Ascension, but they have a new field. They resized their field, so they're not allowed to play there this season. So up until 2 weeks ago, they didn't even have a field to play their home games on. And I think that's a big problem that we have youth teams in this parish who have kids from all around the parish who have to struggle and fight and beg to try to find a field to practice on and play on when we can have a comprehensive recreation plan or recreation system so our kids wouldn't have to be struggling and trying to find a place to play when the teams they play from other areas already know what fields they're going to be playing on. They don't have those same problems our teams have as far as applying fields and courts. The next thing I go to, I'm going to just go through my little checklist because, like I said, I don't want to go on a tirade.
One a night.
I know Mr. Councilman Lambert says for this being a gamble. I know he works at Westlake. I'm pretty sure Westlake makes an investment in infrastructure and employees. They're making that investment to make a profit. And that's the way I see this recreation plan. You're making this recreation plan to invest, to get this knowledge to the public so they can't say they didn't know what was going on, they didn't know what happened. We're doing this to educate the citizens of this parish. And by educating the citizens of this parish, that will give us a better chance for this recreation to pass. And if this recreation plan passes, then the investment of $109,000 is a drop in the bucket, and you make that money back through all the services you're going to get and through all the profits you'll get through this tournaments and the increase in recreation. Second thing I want to address is the city of Gonzales. Said the city of Gonzales is not that happy about it. Some people may not be happy about it, but I'm willing to bet, just like the city of Gonzales has the Jambalaya Park right there, I'm sure everybody that goes there is not from the city of Gonzales. I'm willing to bet half the people that's there at any given time is from outside the city of Gonzales and maybe outside the parish of Ascension. And you can expect that same thing to happen for anything that's come from this recreation plan. The citizens of Gonzales will be at those parks and will be participating. Next, I'm going to go back to the chemical plants again. I guess I had my talking points out of order. I mean, we giving these chemical plants tax breaks every time they come in. So what's wrong with asking them to pay a little money as far as helping the youth in this parish? And if I'm not mistaken, I think just this morning or last night, one of the plants had a chemical release of acid. I mean, they're here, they're getting tax breaks, and at the same time, you know, they're having a chemical release at least once a year. The sirens don't go off because they don't notify the sheriff's department, so people don't get their shelter in place till late. And so is it so wrong for us to ask them to pay a little money for recreation for our kids when those things are going on? And I think not. I leave the roads alone since Ms. Castle covered it very well, so I'll go ahead and skip over that part. And, okay, as far as the polling as well, I mean, I know Mr. Councilman Lambert did some polling, but, you know, I'm going to say that I know Councilman Lambert is strongly against taxes, so every time he polls his people, they say they're against taxes. So if you're polling the same people with the same question, you're going to get the same answer. So that's all I have to say on it.
Thank you, sir. Any other speakers? Yes, Mr. Shake Snyder.
Thank you, Mr. Cluett. This issue we have before us right here is the decision about whether we're going to vote to spend some money to educate the people of this parish who are facing the decision of whether or not to increase their own taxes. I've been here a while. The issue of us, and roads come up all the time, and the issue of us having road improvements is as big as anything that we have here, along with drainage and sewer. And yet, when we put forth a road proposal that include the funding mechanism, and it went before the people voted it down. One of the big comments that I got following this was that, hey, I didn't realize we were doing this. Hey, I didn't know about that. Y'all needed to tell us that. I got that over and over and over again. Irregardless of whether, and I have my own personal opinions about the recreation tax, but irregardless of whether you're for or against a recreation tax, an improvement, you should want, I think it's obvious from the people that made presentations, there are a significant amount of people that want recreation improvements in this parish. You can't ignore that fact. There are a significant amount of people that have been working for a long period of time for an improvement of recreation. And they are a group of people in this parish that are really not interested in improvements in recreation. And so therefore, this is an issue that needs to go to the public. And it needs to be voted on, and the people of this parish need to decide this issue. And that's the American way. And if a majority wants to, put out some money to have a better recreation system, then so be it. If they don't, then so be it, providing it is our duty to give them as much information as we can, and factual information. I think it's very important. Todd made a very important point, is that this cannot be given out as a pro or negative thing. It's going to only be given out for information. And am I happy to spend money to do that? No. I'm not happy to spend money to do a drainage study before we dig another ditch. I'm not happy to do some other things that we do, but that's something that we need to do in order to do justice to the people. People in this parish deserve a right to know the facts, that when they go to vote on this, that they know what are the facts. And so therefore, I am supporting that because it's the people's right to know. And take that with you when you go to the polls. I encourage everybody to go to the polls, and if you want to increase amount of recreation, vote for it. If you do not, then vote your conscience. And I think that's very important. So that's all. Let's give the people a chance to find out.
Thank you, Mr. Shake Snyder. Any other speakers? Yes,
One
Mr.
quick
Todd
question.
Lambert.
You know, I believe that the people should be educated, but I don't know about $190,000. You know, we have a local channel, Channel 21, that we can advertise and flood this on Channel 21. I am for recreation. You know, I have 3 kids. I'm the youngest of 11. I had 10 brothers and sisters, all grew up here in Ascension Parish. All played sports, and proud of Ascension Parish. And, you know, it's just, we got roads. I've been having, and guys on the Transportation Committee know, I have one road I've been trying to get fixed for 8 years. $200,000 would fix it for me. The little section that needs to be fixed would fix it. And that's where this money's coming out of general fund. Let's take it out of rec fund. No, we can't, because it's bottomed out. I understand that. But we have to live at home. We live within our means. We have to live within our means. As a parish government, we operate the same way. As a business, we have to live with what we have. Parish president is doing a fine job at Lamar Dixon. Lamar Dixon is making money. We could phase in all these projects at Lamar Dixon. You know, I commend him on the work and effort that he has done at Lamar Dixon. Balloon Festival coming up. He's raised a lot of money, you know, and I commend him on that. I'm gonna be the first one to commend him. We just have to we're asking a lot from the people. Yeah, it's just $5 a week or whatever. But a lot of people, young people that's affording the homes or buying homes, that the cost that they have to pay for them, $75 to $100 a year, that adds up on that 30-year mortgage, and before you know it, it's up there because they're paying interest on it. So, and then again with the businesses, not just chemical plants, Mr. Turner. We got all the businesses in the city of Gonzales that's going to be hit with this. And you know, I don't know if it's fair that we should have put municipalities in it. You know, because and I don't represent Gonzales. My district does not go into the city limits. I represent Gonzales, but not city of Gonzales. And that's pretty much all I have. Just, you know, I am for educating the people, and I think our people are educated. We have some very educated people in this parish, and when they see a tax on the ballot, they're going to do their research. They're going to know what's going on. And like I said, we have ways that we can help with our local channel and everything else. So that's kind of how I feel about it, and I just can't support this $190,000 out of general fund.
Thank you, Todd.
Just
Mr. Dempsey
one
Lambert.
quick thing then, Mr. Fuller. And look, I appreciate all these fine brochures of what each park is gonna get, but please keep in mind, by the time this is implemented, we're already behind. There's things that are gonna constantly change in our parks that we're gonna have to provide for our citizens. Just last week, and maybe parish president can help me out here, Mr. Troy Brown, working with the state, just landed, I think, $700,000 for the city of Donaldsonville. A lot of these things, they are changing very, very fast. And I mean, some of this stuff, you know, it's just got to be looked at as we go along with this. And, you know, I just, you know, I'm glad that Mr. Brown landed that, and I'm sure he worked on it a long time, but, you know, it's just, things are on paper here, but they're gonna change. And I just want, like you say, let the people be educated, and I don't know if past president, you had anything with it, but, you know, that's.
No, that was a grant from the state, $700,000 for Crescent Park on the West Bank. He did a good job.
Yeah.
We get some grants also. We got $300,000 last year and possibly another $900,000 this year. So, you know, grants are grants. We get grants all the time, but you don't sustain a program with grants.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to more conversation.
Just a quick follow-up.
Thank you, Dempsey. All right, Travis.
Just a quick follow-up, because I'm getting closer. I like to talk over 3 minutes. So I'm getting closer to that time limit now. But, you know, the plan is not just about Lamar Dixon, and I don't want that to be confused with the past few comments. It's mainly about those community parks that are closer to your home. So I don't want people to get bogged down in things about Lamar Dixon, because I know a lot of people have ill will about Lamar Dixon, so I just want to, why are we doing it now, and hopefully this RFQ passes, so people can know now that it's not just about Lamar Dixon or anything near Lamar Dixon. It's about those community parks close to your home, so you won't have to travel quite as far for your recreation.
Thank you, sir. Any other speakers? Yes, Ms. Cazzo.
Yeah, I just want to thank the Recreation Committee, particularly for the flexibility that they've shown when citizens had concerns about pieces of this plan. And I realize we're not debating all that tonight. That what we're talking about tonight is whether or not we should educate our public. But it's an opportunity for me to thank the Recreation Committee, and particularly Councilman Turner and former Chair, Councilman Lohr. We have had concerns in my part of the parish about what was going to happen with certain facets of this plan. And I will tell you there was flexibility and equal concern amongst the citizens who were working to put this plan together. And so I believe that education is critical and that cooperation, to Dempsey's point, how things go moving forward will be important as well, flexibility. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other speakers?
Move to vote.
We have a motion by Councilman Turner, second by Councilman Cazzo, Councilwoman Cazzo.
It's okay.
And just to try to clear the motion is to approve that the parish president negotiate the RFP for public outreach and educational services for the recreation tax issue we have on the ballot. And that's, yes, sir.
The only other thing that I'm going to say is that we're going to have to come back with a budget amendment at some point.
Yes, sir. As we do every time we pull out. Mr. Parrington, that I was pretty clear on that motion, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Well, we're ready for a vote. Any opposition? Mr. Todd Lambert. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Councilwoman Cazzo.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
No, ma'am.
Councilman Lohr.
Yes.
Councilman Shake Snyder.
Yes.
Councilman Turner.
Yes.
It
7-1.
It appears that the yeses have it. It's passed. We'll move on to agenda item number 9, 2014 to 2016 Emergency Solutions Grant Program. Ms. Martha Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. I'm here tonight to ask your approval for us to apply for the 2014-2016.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Johnson, second by Mr. Todd Lambert.
Just to authorize the parish president to sign it, and Ms. Gwen for financial.
Correct.
Is that your motion?
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion
Thank
passes.
you.
We'll move to agenda item number 10, planning and zoning recommendations, zoning review, ID 2243.14, Lot A1 of the Wilbert Sheets property for Boone Parsons Enterprises LLC located on the west side of South Doyle Avenue, approximately 3,000 feet south of LA Highway 30, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from conservation to light industrial. And
Motion to accept.
we have a motion by Mr. Turner to accept,
Second.
second by Mr. Joseph. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. We'll move on to agenda item number 11, introduction of ordinances. The introduction of ordinance to revoke several existing servitudes across lots formerly designed as 12A through 12D for Vernon Causey family petition and the Wilfred Causey estate. Move to the council via UDC 174050B.2.A.
Motion to introduce the ordinance.
A motion to introduce
Second.
by Mr. Lohr, second by Mr. Johnson. Any opposition? Motion's introduced. We have introduction of ordinance to declare surplus and authorize the sale and/or transfer of miscellaneous movable equipment. Recommendations from the Finance Committee.
So moved, Mr.
We
Chairman.
have a motion by
Introduce.
Mr. Todd Lambert,
Second.
second by Mr. Lohr. Any opposition? It is introduced. Agenda item number 13, introduction of ordinance to amend the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter Animals and Fowl, Article 3, Animal Control, Division 4, Impoundment of Animals, to add Section 5-84, Potentially dangerous dog, vicious dog.
Motion to introduce, Mr. Chairman.
We have
Second.
we have a motion by Mr. Todd Lambert to introduce, a second by Ms. Cazzo. Any opposition? It is introduced. Well,
Mr.
mo-
Chairman, I'd like to thank Mr. LeBlanc on the hard work that he put into this.
Ascension Parish Animal Control.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. We'll move on to public hearing ordinances. Agenda item number 14, reading of ordinance to amend the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 9, Finance and Taxation, Section 9-5, sharing of sales tax revenue between the parish and municipalities generated by annexed properties. Mr. Parrington.
To amend Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 9, Finance and Taxation, Section 9-5, sharing of tax revenue between parish and municipalities generated by annexed properties. Whereas Ascension Parish is a local government subdivision is defined by Article 6, Section 44 of the Louisiana Constitution of 1974. Whereas the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 9, Section 9-5 was adopted on May 7th of 2009. Whereas the Parish Council of the Parish of Ascension desires to amend the supplement, Chapter 9, Finance and Taxation, Section 9-5, sharing of sales tax revenue between parish and municipalities generated by annexed properties. Now therefore be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Governing Authority that the Code of Ordinances of Ascension Parish, Chapter 9, Section 9-5 be amended as follows. Deletions are in strike-through and additions are underlined. Whereas the Ascension Parish collects an undedicated 1 cent sales tax, Ascension Parish Road Sales Tax District Number 1, and a 1/2 cent sales tax, Ascension Parish Sales Tax District Number 2. And whereas the municipalities within the parish also collect taxes within their respective incorporated areas. Whereas these municipalities periodically annex property at the request of the property owner to the incorporated limits in order to provide certain services to the property. Whereas the parish believes that the imposition of sales tax in its areas by both parish sales tax district and the respective municipality may discourage business growth, adversely affect land use planning, and subject parish citizens to increased taxation on the purchase of goods and services. Whereas the parish government believes a sales tax sharing plan is essential to ensure the continued development of business within the parish and the orderly and appropriate development of land within parish and within municipalities. Therefore, the parish of Ascension hereby ordains that the sales tax enhancement plan be implemented, and the office of the parish president is hereby authorized to enter into such agreements as contemplated by this plan. Previously annexed property. In all cases where properties were annexed prior to the effective date of the original sales tax enhancement plan, May 7, 2009, 50% of the net proceeds shall be retained by the districts. Subsequently annexed properties. In all cases where the properties were or are to be annexed after May 7, 2009, the district shall retain 75% of its sales taxes. Any future taxes not affected, any additional sales taxes shall not be affected by this ordinance. The ordinance regulates the percentage of sales tax to be received by Ascension Parish Sales Tax District Number 1 and Ascension Parish Sales Tax District Number 2, and any municipality impacted by this ordinance may retain any portion of the sales taxes for which it is legally authorized to receive and collect. This ordinance shall be effective in full and permitted by law. The ordinance has been submitted to a vote. The vote thereon was as follows.
Motion to open public hearing.
Motion to open public hearing by Mr. Todd Lambert,
Second.
second by Mr. Casso.
Motion to close.
Motion to close public hearing by Mr. Joseph, second by Mr. Todd Lambert.
Motion to move the ordinance.
We have a motion by Mr. Lohr to move the ordinance,
Second.
second by Ms. Cazzo. Any discussion?
Discussion, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Lohr.
I just wanted to offer my thanks to a lot of folks who helped make this happen. Mr. President, you certainly, also Councilman Joseph, Councilman Shake Snyder. I know the the sheriff and Deputy Bacala as well had a lot to do with this, but certainly Mayor Sullivan and the city councilman and in Donaldsonville, and there was lots of discussions and back and forth, and I think this was a complicated issue, lots of different interests, different parties, and things that had to be worked out, and I certainly appreciate their willingness to work with us on that, and for everybody on this board for figuring out a solution and a compromise that I think worked for everybody. So I just wanted to say thanks, and I think this was a good example of us working together with the cities. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, Mr. President.
Mr. Parrington,
Yes.
this ordinance, once it takes effect, it takes a while to change cash registers and those type things over. So when would this ordinance go into effect?
It will probably go into effect at the end of the year at the latest. The Sales Tax Authority said, I think the last time it took them anywhere between 45 and 90 days for this to take place. They'll have to notify the businesses. The sales tax ordinance, the Sales Tax Authority does that. Once we pass this and it becomes effective, and then they'll send it to the proper businesses. So I would assume it will not be effective to maybe the end of the year, but possibly before then.
Thank
I
you,
just
sir.
want
Mr.
Mr.
Joseph.
Joseph, if you get asked that question, to realize that it won't be immediately. So.
Thank you, Mr. President. I guess the thing is, I think it took about 90 days to actually get it squared away. And we were about in that 90-day window. I would request that we make this effective for January 1st of 2015.
And I think that's good because it gives us time to actually draft the agreement with the city and sign everything. Correct, Mr.
Everyone will be
Parrington?
on the same page at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Law, would you amend your motion to that?
Sure.
To that point,
I'll
sir?
pass the ordinance with a revision that we, to make it effective for collections first of the 15.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Mr. Lohr, a second by Ms. Cazzo. Any other discussion? Any opposition? Ordinance is adopted. We'll move on to agenda item number 17, reading of ordinance to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from conservation to light industrial located on the east side of Darla Street, approximately 2,900 feet south of LA 30. Ms. Parrington?
This ordinance amends the official zoning designation for Gerald Sheets property from Conservation C to Light Industry. This rezone is identified as zoning review ID 2418.14 for Gerald Sheets, whereas the Ascension Parish's local government subdivision is defined by Article 6, Section 44, Louisiana Constitution 1974. And whereas the Parish of Ascension is the governing and responsible body over the zoning and regulations within the jurisdiction, whereas Article 6 of the Home Rule Charter of Ascension Parish adopted May 4th, 1993 identifies the process and manner in which to adopt ordinances regulating the lands of this parish. Whereas the official zoning map of parish was last adopted on March 10th, 2014, whereas the Parish Council reserves the authority to make changes to the official zoning map by ordinance, whereas the request has been processed and compliant with the procedures set forth, be it ordained by Ascension Parish Governing Authority that the official zoning map of Ascension Parish, Louisiana is amended to reflect the property identified as Exhibit A as light industry as the official zoning designation. In the event any portion of this ordinance is ever held to be invalid, unconstitutional for any reason by any court of competent jurisdiction over it, such portion shall be deemed separate, distinct, and independent provisions, shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of the ordinance. This ordinance shall be in full effect as permitted by law. The exhibits are the legal description, the plat map, and the aerial zoning map. This ordinance has been submitted to a vote. The vote thereon was as follows.
Motion to open public hearing, Mr.
We have a
Chairman.
motion by Mr. Todd Lambert to open public hearing, second by Mr. Dempsey Lambert.
Motion to close.
Motion to close public hearing by Mr. Turner, second by Mr. Joseph.
Motion to move the ordinance.
We have a motion to move the ordinance by Mr. Johnson,
Second.
second by Ms. Cazzo. Any discussion? Any opposition? That ordinance is adopted. Before we get on to Mr. Todd and number 20, I just want to thank everybody for being respectful to me tonight, man. I appreciate it. And
Until next time.
last but not least, I want to wish a quick happy birthday to one of our newer employees, one of our parish engineers, Mr. Mike Enlow.
One thing, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have to
Yes,
sing?
Mr. Dempsey, you got something.
I'd like to invite everyone out Saturday, We're gonna have, the Galvez Lake Fire Department's gonna have open house. They're gonna have jambalaya and stuff there, so everyone's welcome to come out. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Motion adjourned, Mr.
We have a
Chairman.
motion to adjourn by Mr. Todd Lambert.
Second.
Second by Mr. Benny Johnson. Any discussion? Any opposition? We are adjourned.